Hey everybody, welcome to Swan Lounge. We have a very special episode today. I'm super excited. I hope you are too. Time for the opening shill. If you've joined us before, you've heard this before, but you know what? You're going to hear it again. Sorry. Bitcoiners, Breakcoiners, no coiners, new coiners. Welcome to Swan Lounge, a weekly show in which you get to hang out with the Swan team and some of our amazing friends from the incredibly exciting world of Bitcoin. It seems like every day it's more and more exciting, and we will get to some of those updates in just a minute. Quick shout out to, no, that is not part of the show. I'm not going to read that today. Before we dive in, we're doing something very special. We are giving away Jan Pritzker's book, Inventing Bitcoin, and we're giving it away for free because we want to spread the good word about Bitcoin. If you've read that book, you know how amazing that book is. Please share it with friends. You can get it at swanbitcoin.com/free book. And there it is, right on screen, right for you to share with your friends and family. You can go to there. We have it in audiobook, ebook, Kindle. It's read by Guy Swan. If you haven't listened to the audiobook, if you've read it before, do the audiobook again. That's how good it is. To all the Swan Force members out there, we have also set up a way for you to give away the book. And the people you give it away to will get, they'll get the book. But what you'll get is you'll get the credit for signing them up for Swan when they eventually sign up for Swan and start stacking. And if you're not signed up for Swan Force yet, honestly, I'm just disappointed in you, really. At this point, you've been watching the show for how long and you're not signed up for Swan Force? Come on. What is Swan Force, you may ask? Swan Force is Swan Bitcoin's referral program. If you sign up for Swan Force, you will get 25% of your referrals fees for 3 years. And if the person who signs up with your link uses your link, they will get $10 of free Bitcoin when they become a Swan member. Now, please make sure you watch to the end of the episode. Why? Because we're going to do Swan Force Fridays, which is where we put our guests on the spot and we give them 60 seconds to give us their best Bitcoin pitch. Now, this week, I think we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to tell everyone or ask everyone nicely to please pitch members of the Wall Street Bets Reddit forum and try to pitch them on the benefits of Bitcoin. So that should be a lot of fun. Finally, we all know that automatic recurring buys are the best and safest way to accumulate Bitcoin. But every now and then, especially when someone like Elon tweets about Bitcoin, you might just want to hit that smash buy button, which is why Swan has instant buys. You know, we've got everything. We got automatic buys, we got instant buys, whatever you need. We got automatic withdrawals. So sign up for Swan, take advantage of all of the amazing things that we are doing. And if not, it's fine. Subscribe to our YouTube, you know, be a freeloader with our education. Come on. That's okay. We just want everybody to get in on Bitcoin because this is a revolution and it is an exciting one. All right. Before I bring in our guests, one last thing. You know what it is. I know I got to say it. I'm forced to say it. I have to say it. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. It really does help us. It helps us spread the good word about Bitcoin. It helps the show get seen on YouTube. So before I bring my guests in, I want to see how many likes are we at? 22. We're at 22 likes. Come on. We can do better than that, folks. Come on. We can do 25. Let me see 25. I see 23. All right. We got more? Come on. We can do 30. I want to see 30. I want to see 50. I'm not seeing it. All right, you know what? We'll get those likes later. It's time right now for Swan Lounge. Hold up. Everyone's muted. Don't say anything yet. And we're live. But where's Terrance? I want to see that photo of him. That's all right. Terrance is a blue square for right now. Not the end of the world. Ladies and gents, welcome. We've got Brandon Quittem. We've got Camila. We've got Gigi. And we have Terrance, a pre-HODL activist. We'll get to what that means in a little bit. Terrance, we were disappointed in Terrance because he was supposed to join last week, but it was not his fault. So we will forgive him. And he's here this week. So how is everyone feeling this week? That is my question. Because I don't tell me how to feel. I don't know how to feel.
Oh man, I don't know either. Like I'm like equal parts excited and disappointed in terms of it's really sad to see that the whole world banded together to smash some Redditors, so to speak. And but still, it's very exciting times, and I think we are living through a phase now where millions of people at the same time realize in an instant why Bitcoin is so valuable.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said that better myself, which is why we brought Gigi on the show. Brandon. Brandon, how are you doing today?
I completely agree. I think it's been one of the more fun weeks in Bitcoin in the last 3-4 years since I've been kind of in the space. And wow, I like can't go to sleep. I stay up too late. I wake up early. I'm just plugged in, and it seems like it's all happening at once. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm speechless. I'm sure I'll say something later that makes sense.
All right, Camila, your opening feelings on the show.
Honestly, like I said, it doesn't feel like it has passed. It feels like it's been a year. Just so many emotions going on this week. And it's interesting as a Bitcoiner because you're kind of sitting back and just watching everything go down. And you're kind of like, I told you so. But let's just see how this rolls out, because I feel like this is just the beginning of an insane year.
I'm with you, and what I'm feeling right now is Brady Swenson's energy. Bitcoin dominance is 100%. Let's go! Yeah! I've actually noticed that this energy pervading Twitter. Matt Odell's tweets, for example, he's been tweeting in all caps, and I found myself doing one also. I'm all for this. I'm all for this. I'm excited.
He has been excellent the last 48 hours of staying humble. You can see it in his tweets how humble he is. Caps lock on.
Caps lock on.
So for those joining us or relatively new to this space, Matt Odell was the originator of the meme "Stay humble and stack sats." However, he doesn't stay very humble, which is quite hilarious.
Yeah. Have fun staying humble currently. Like it's very hard to find something that would vindicate the Bitcoiners' thesis in a better way than the Wall Street bets fiasco and everything that's going down. Like everyone's getting deplatformed. Not your apps, not your buy button. And so it's really wild to see, and it's insane what's going on. And the elite figured out how to remain very wealthy in like 2 steps. Like you open a bunch of short positions and then you disable the buy buttons in all the apps. So that's how the game is being played, and it's a win-win situation for the big guys.
100%. I want to start definitely with the Wall Street bet situation, because that seems to have kicked off everything. Before we do, if you're in the audience, let us know how you're feeling this week. What was crazy about this week? Tell us. I want to know. I want to talk about it. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have dreams or hopes, desires, just tell us. We're here for you. So, Wall Street bets. Gigi, considering you have this incredible background and streaming situation going on here, I was hoping maybe you could give us a little intro to what went down this week. Maybe your perspective on it, and then we will hold on one second. I don't want to look at myself. I want to look at Gigi. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I can try my best. I think the very, very short summary is that some people on the internet found out that some players in the financial game made some bad moves by overshorting stocks, and they were like, okay, we're gonna exploit this move together. And once this started working, like the game plan was set in motion quite a long while ago. And now more and more people figured out that this can actually work, and that you can actually short squeeze the billionaires. And so once this started working, like 3 days ago or something, everyone realized, okay, this is really going to work. So more and more people piled on to this plan. And now that the wrong people are making the money and the ones in power are losing the money, everyone stepped in to stop the game and change the rules. And so what's basically happening is that everyone who has power over the people decided that the small man is not allowed to win, and they changed the rules while the game is still being played. And it's very sad to see, but it's at the same time also very exciting that just a bunch of random people that figured it out on their own on the internet, they managed to move the needle. Like it's a very powerful statement that in the financial markets and just in general, the people have power. I think that's what they realized, and that's what they are realizing right now. Unfortunately, the game is so rigged that it's virtually impossible to win inside the bounds of the game. And this is why we Bitcoin. This is why we decide to exit and not play these games in the first place.
100%, Gigi. That was great. Thank you for that. I just received word that American Hoddle is going to join us. He totally forgot. So maybe we should shit talk American Hoddle right now. That way when he comes in, all he hears is like, screw you, American Hoddle.
I would love to hear Terrance's perspective before Hoddle gets in, sort of how he's feeling.
So real quick, Terrance, if you don't mind, actually, something I'd love for you to also kind of add on to that is sort of the perspective, like your perspective on, how Robinhood and Citadel and the sort of the billionaires kind of play into this whole crazy mix.
Sure. So Citadel, for those who don't know, is a giant hedge fund, really smart. And they, I believe, own Melvin, which is also an excellent hedge fund that focuses on short selling. Citadel is arguably too big to fail. Like if I had to pick 5 hedge funds, they would be one of them that are too big to fail. They're that important. And they're highly, highly respected with deep political and other connections. So when they tell Robinhood, because they generate 40% of Robinhood's revenue, because Citadel pays for what? They pay for order flow data that they monetize by front running the customers on Robinhood and maybe elsewhere a little bit. And they take that data, monetize it, and they're the number one revenue generator for Robinhood by far. I am sure they made calls to Robinhood and pressured them to halt trading in Jimmy or GME, GameStop, and other degenerate stocks that degenerate Wall Street kids were buying, arguably. So when they were doing this gamma squeeze, this short squeeze, Citadel was losing a lot of money, and their hedge fund Melvin was losing a lot of money and losing billions. So they had to stop this. There seemed to be no end. They got caught with their pants down, so to speak, having over 100% short interest in GME, and several other stocks were also heavily shorted.
Hoddle, you here?
You're on mute.
Hoddle, you dick.
Yo, I just can't hear Brecky, but I can hear everybody else. Oh, okay. What's up, man? Let's talk about financial populism. Sorry, I'm late.
No worries. You made an entrance. That's all that matters, right? The audience. Hey, audience, if you like that American Hoddle's here, hit that like button.
Smash that like. Subscribe. Buy from swanbitcoin.com. There you go.
See, this is why we call you on the show. Perfect.
They're giving away a free ebook, Inventing Bitcoin, written by Jan Pritzker. Get your copy today.
Yeah, see, you don't have to do it anymore. American Hoddle just crushed it.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll ask like Hoddle and a few other people to do some like pre-roll recordings, and we'll switch up the shill at the beginning every time.
That's right.
I like it. Maybe we should take a look at this letter first. Hold on, I think I have it here.
One quick thing, Brecky. I feel like we should have Hoddle taunting people when they smash by on Swan. Like if their smash isn't big enough, they need to be called out. And if it's big, let them know their grandchildren will appreciate those sats.
Totally. Congratulations, you just bought a planetary system.
I mean, that idea like came out of nowhere on Twitter. I think we should actually do it. Gigi, can you code that for us? Like,
yeah, of course. Always throw all those features to Gigi. Of course. No, it's consider it done. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Is that like a 2 weeks, like an Ethereum 2 years kind of deal?
Yeah. It's like switch to proof of stake kind of deal.
Great. All right. Well, I'll sidebar with you, and I'll convince you that we actually do need to have this feature, because
we'll do it. We'll do it.
American Hoddle yelling at me every time
American Hoddle is just staring at everyone's soul right now.
Yeah. Stare into American Hoddle's eyes.
Hey,
stack more sats.
Hey, you loyal Swan customer. It's time for you to stack as many sats as you can. Otherwise, your grandchildren are going to think you're a huge fucking pussy. Also, we're giving away a free ebook written by Jan Pritzker called Inventing Bitcoin. Get it, or you're a stupid bitch.
Snaps.
There you go.
Perfect.
And,
Are we-
and rap.
Are we in the middle of the financial French Revolution?
That's what Scaramucci said. I thought that was the correct take also.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think so.
Like, and the elites are so lost. They think this is about people and markets and people wanting to gamble and all this nonsense. No, it's a class war, and they're obtuse to the problem. And it's literally the plebs versus the bourgeoisie. I think we should go long on guillotine stocks next. Just kidding, but serious.
Yeah.
Man, I've been saying this thing on Clubhouse, which I don't remember if I stole from somebody or not, but basically it's like, you know, the plebs have figured out that 1 million people with $100 are as powerful, if not more powerful, than one man with $100 million, and that is dangerous for the power structure. That they have finally figured out how the game works, and they've tipped the board in their favor.
Yeah, I would argue that they are even more powerful because they don't have to be sensible. And that's what we're seeing as well. You know, like as they are saying, we can stay degenerate longer than you can stay solvent.
I think
because
the phrase
they,
was,
they don't care.
Longer
Yeah,
than stay solvent.
I'm paraphrasing, of course. but
Gigi doesn't
yeah,
wanna
that's
get
true.
canceled.
Like, I mean, there's so much energy if you're reading through the posts on the Wall Street Bets Reddit, that people that went through hell in the financial crisis and, you know, like ate rice and beans for a year, and like they don't care if they lose a couple $1,000 now. Like, it's not about the money. It's the same with Bitcoin, you know, like it's not about the money. Like,
plus it was
my Hoddle philosophy is if I get rich in the process, okay, so be it. But that's not what it's about, you know.
Plus
like
the money
I'm going down with the ship.
The money was given to them, Gigi. Like, I mean, who put the ammo in their gun? The Fed did, like through stimulus, right? So, like,
yeah, of course,
the Fed literally created this behavior that they seem to be. I mean, I don't know how the Federal Reserve feels about it or Treasury feels about it, but you know, like the powers that be. I mean, I was watching CNBC the other day what was going on, and the amount of pearl clutching that the little guy had finally figured out a way to get his was insane. I mean, they are so mad that the rules of the game have been exposed, and that, you know, like the board isn't tipped in their favor anymore, right? And they're going to look for every avenue possible they can to shut it down. Like, I would be scared. I mean, literally, I'd be scared if I was one of these GameStop guys who made a ton of money on this. Because you're going to be likely audited up the ass. SEC is going to be all over you. And if you slipped up and made a single wrong post where you like sort of betray your intent, they're going to call you a market manipulator or a financial terrorist. And like but here's the thing. They can't get them all. They can only get a couple of the guys to make an example of them. But like, you know, the exit doors are open and people are fleeing through them at a remarkable clip. So I don't see how you stem the tide on this. I mean, maybe they can do a few public hangings to make an example of people, but that's about it.
I think that's going to make it worse.
I think so
honestly.
too. Yeah.
Like they should have took the loss. They should have let a couple hedge funds blow up and be like, oopsie daisy, forget about it. Instead, they came down with a heavy hand. And what that's going to do, it's going to fracture the community, just like the Apache Indians back in the when we were kind of manifest destiny going west. And you try to kill the Apache Indians, you kill the leader. What happens? Now there's 2 groups. Kill those 2. Now you have 4. And it took, 100 years to take over those groups. And the same thing's happening here. It draws in more energy, more attention. And the point of this is young people are pissed. Their future was sold and it's being consumed right now by older generations, and young people they have no hope. And I don't blame them. And so if we don't address it at that level, like young people need hope for the future, then whatever we do is surface level, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, there's no social contract too, right? Like we don't have trust in institutions because institutions have betrayed us, right? And so the baby boomers grew up in a world where everything worked for them, and there was a social contract where, like, you did the right things and you were rewarded in America, and there were certain things that were going to accrue to you by playing fair in the system. And millennials and Gen Z have nothing to lose, just fundamentally nothing to lose, because they have no ownership in their society, right? Like there was a thread on Twitter about how this is about young men who aren't getting enough sex, and every time young men don't get enough sex, they form these sort of tribes and they go after things. And it used to be woolly mammoths, and then it was like merchant ships and pirate times or whatever, and now it's hedge funds, right? So it's like it's just one of these phenomenons. I mean, what did they think was going to happen when they locked everybody inside for no fucking reason? What did they think was going to happen? People lost their fucking minds, right? Like there's this tweet and it was like day 25 of the pandemic. I made bread, smiley face. Day 310, the capital appears to be under the control of a man in a Viking helmet. Day 335, Reddit's attack on Wall Street is going really well. Like that's where we're at.
So Brandon, this is a little interesting message here. Brandon, I grew up in New York City with many of these families. You underestimate super rich people's ego. This is war to them too.
Yeah, I got a good point for this. So yes, they think that it's about a war over this little trade here, and they don't like young people, sort of finding out how the game works and then playing it against Wall Street. That's what they think's going on. That's not what's going on. That is a little symptom. That's just like someone lit some dog poop on their front lawn and lit it on fire and ran away. That's what they think's going on. No. This is a uprising of young people pissed off, and they're expressing themselves in a nihilistic way. And it's not going away. And
yeah,
so
it's just the beginning. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a serious episode, and I do want to preserve the serious nature of the discussion. But I did come across a video today that I think might be worth watching. I don't know if you all saw it. Crypto Graffiti posted it from YouTube. It is actually from September of 2011. Did any of you see this? If not, I think we should watch like 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Sweet. All right, 1 second.
I have not seen it.
Oh, it's pretty wonderful. And you're going to recognize a couple of assholes in the video as well. There we go. Yeah, 1 second. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to... That's how we... Anyway.
She needs to do a remake. She needs to go back on the street, wherever this girl is, go back on the street and start asking those questions again.
That's a great question. This was like 10 years ago. She's definitely grown up. I'd be curious to see what she's up to.
She should be like, yo, hey, I YOLO'd into some GME call options. Good or bad? Yeah, they respond.
Hoddle, were you trading this? Come on.
No, I have not been. Because, all right, here's the thing about GME, dude. As aligned as I am with the movement and what's going on, it is stupid and pointless. Like, it basically is a temper tantrum, right? Like, but I love the energy. I love where it's going. The problem is you have to realize gains on GME at some point, so it can't last forever, right? Like, the movement will end. It will dissipate. In Bitcoin, like, we're doing HODL activism too. We fucking invented it, right? But, like, in Bitcoin, you never have to sell to realize a gain. So the movement lasts forever, and then it goes all the way until it changes the way the game fundamentally works. So that's why, like, for me, something like GME is cool. It's a cool sideshow. Shows that normal people are waking up. The normal meme pages on Instagram are full of memes that are about this, and people are like really excited that people are getting back at Wall Street. But like longer term, like the beautiful dream of Bitcoin is about a lot more than personally enriching a few of us and blowing up a few hedge funds, you know? So like that's where I'm at and always will be.
Hoddle, can you give us the HODL Activism like manifesto? Can you tell us what this actually means to you real quick?
Yeah, so so basically like what they're doing, what the GME bros are doing on Reddit is HODL activism. They're taking the opposite side of a short position, right? And they're holding out for higher prices. And the more they hold out, the more they punish Wall Street. And the more they punish Wall Street, the richer they get. So it's this incredibly virtuous cycle. The problem with it is that it has to end. And in Bitcoin, it never has to end because one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, right? Like you can just hold until you're at a point where you can spend your Bitcoin on goods and services. You never have to sell back to US dollars because every time you sell back to US dollars, you are funding the system explicitly, in the form of capital gains tax. And you are ceding ground to I don't want to say the enemy, but you're ceding ground to this broken system that is entrenching poverty, hurting global prosperity, causing increasing social conflicts, causing wealth inequality, and destroying innovation into the future. So like to sell Bitcoin is an immoral action. To short Bitcoin is an immoral action. Anybody who's not long Bitcoin is short Bitcoin, and you will be punished because Bitcoin punishes its doubters and it rewards its believers because it's like a god. The end.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
I love that. Gigi, I feel like you could add to the philosophy of all this a little bit. What do you got?
Yeah,
for
like that's exactly right. Like the sad thing about the GameStop chart is it has to come down at one point in time. And the beautiful thing about a Bitcoin compared to fiat chart is that it has not like, oh shit, I just spilled everything over my laptop. So if I disconnect, you know why. Holy fucking shit. I got soup over my laptop. But still, like Bitcoin, as Hoddle said, it basically it never has to come down again. Like if the same attack, if the short squeeze on the world is happening, like it's game over, because Bitcoin is actually designed to replace all these bullshit systems. And that's the beautiful thing about it. And that's why HODL activism in Bitcoin is not only to like HODL activism in GameStop land, in Wall Street bets, is to burn everything down. And in Bitcoin, I think it's the opposite, you know, like it's to build a better system. It's to build something that works way better, that is healthier, that has more deep stability from a systems standpoint. And that's what I'm here for, you know. And I try to channel as much of the anger and of the energy into building the future in a better way. And I hope that the Wall Street Bets people join us as well.
I think it makes a lot of sense when you think about how nihilistic the psychology is of the Wall Street Bets investor, and how nihilistic most people are in our society, because people fundamentally, millennials and below, believe they have no future, and they have good reason and cause to believe they have no future. And so what are you going to do? I'm going to take 50K. I'm going to YOLO it into GME call options. If I'm wrong, I lose everything, but fuck it, bro. I have no future anyway. If I'm right, I get hilariously wealthy, and suddenly I'm worth $50 million. So like, let's roll the dice and be a degen gambler, right? Whereas in Bitcoin, you have a tool, you know, a sovereign tool, like a censorship resistant tool, a defensive technology that allows you to store your value and your time and rationally and optimistically build forward for a better future. So like Wall Street Bets is sort of like a death cult, and like it's cool to see what they're doing, but it's good. They're going to blow up. I mean, that's just how it can't sustain. The movement can't sustain itself. And the Bitcoin movement does sustain itself long into the future. And that's the key, like, psychological difference between the two tribes.
100%. Quick shout out to RDBTC, who has joined us in the chat all the way from across the pond. Love your memes, buddy. And to all the other people in the chat, and to Jason Brown. Don't make me ban you. We don't talk about anything besides Bitcoin here. All right. No Space Jam. Sorry. Not going to happen.
Can you guys imagine how pissed the banking elites or coastal elites or whatever you want to call this class? Can you imagine how pissed they're going to be when a bunch of space cats and Reddit degens and stoolies and Bitcoiners and all this internet nonsense comes together and there's nothing that they can do? Like,
yeah, Brent,
just imagine.
It's an attack. It's an attack on the rich people. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard on TV? It's an attack on the rich people, and it's the most horrible thing that has ever happened.
You know what, though? I will say I am pleasantly surprised that like this issue is coming to the fore, and we're seeing it unite certain people that would never talk. But even Ted Cruz was like, "This is bullshit." And then we do have people rich people who are allies. Like we've got Chamath going on TV and like calling bullshit on all of this. So I don't think it's, you know, this isn't 2008 in every sense of it. You know, it's a little different.
Chamath, Elon, Mark Cuban, like there was a lot of people who were supporting this. And yeah, man, it's interesting. We really are in a fundamentally different place. And I think like the narrative of like, we're going to blow up the hedge funds is like, you know, it's like revenge for 08, and people like that revenge narrative. And I think the thing with Bitcoin is we don't have that revenge component to us, because here's the plain facts. The hedge funds are going to get really rich. The hedge funds that understand Bitcoin will be really rich into the future, and so will every other major institution and every power player with a lot of money. They will make a lot of money off of Bitcoin, and they will continue to be powerful. But here's the thing. They won't be able to collude and change the rule set. Like what happened in the GameStop thing is they were losing the rules of the game that they agreed to play. And they colluded with people and shut down trading on Robinhood and said, no, fuck you. You're winning under these rules, so we're going to change the rules midstream. Nobody can change the Bitcoin rule set, no matter how much Bitcoin wealth they have. And that is the beauty of Bitcoin. It's a fairer world for everybody.
You could almost say that the Bitcoin, so the monetary policy of Bitcoin had a irreversible vasectomy. There's no going back. You know, 21 million.
That's one way to put it, Brecky.
Have you not seen Brady's comment, Hoddle?
No, I haven't seen it.
You're suspiciously quiet.
American Hoddle, except I can't see the whole thing on my screen.
I'm going to name my third kid after American Hoddle, except I got a vasectomy. Oh well. Oh man.
But yeah, looping back to the point that this unites people across the political spectrum, that's definitely true. I mean, if AOC and Donald Trump Jr. Both say that this is fucked up, then it's really fucked up. It's quite something to see so many people agree that this is completely messed up and it shouldn't be this way. And I think it's someone posted a nice kind of meme infographic. Who is actually it's not the wealthy against the poor, but it is like the rent seekers and those super rich that make the rules against everyone else and against productive people and regular people and everyone else. And I think this is blatantly obvious now. There are two sets of people, and for the smaller set of people that are higher up in this hierarchy, very, very different rules exist. And I think we saw this in the past as well with other events outside of the financial system. And now we see it in clear sight. It's like daylight robbery, and they don't even try to hide it anymore. I think we're gonna see more of that, not even trying to hide it. And I think it will just get more obvious what's going on by the minute, and more people will get upset and just not buy the lies anymore. And it will be very, very hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. This thing is squeezed, and it's gonna get really wild and ugly in the next couple of weeks and months.
It's going to be interesting. I don't think anything done was actually wrong, in my opinion. I think everything that Wall Street Bets is doing should be totally allowed. But I am curious.
It is totally allowed, Brecky. It is by the powers that be. This mirrors a trade. There's a documentary on this trade about Bill Ackman shorting Herbalife. And Carl Icahn took the other side of that trade and absolutely squeezed the fuck out of Ackman. And then he came up with some bullshit fundamental analysis reason why he did it. But he did it. He was war profiteering, right? So if Carl Icahn, a billionaire hedge funder, is allowed to do it, why isn't a decentralized group of plebs allowed to do it?
I mean, I'm with you. That's the crazy thing. And Wall Streeters have been doing this to each other for years, like you said. So it's going to be interesting. Should we let's talk Elon?
No.
I woke up this morning and I had no idea what was going on, and it took me an hour to catch up and figure it out. And holy shit, it's happening. It was inevitable. I mean, we knew that, but who got to him? What happened?
Dude, in retrospect, it was inevitable as a top 5 all-time Bitcoin tweet.
It is. It truly is.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
I think we got to give a lot of credit to Michael Saylor here. I think Saylor connected with Elon. Saylor said, "Hey, you should read some Breedlove," and then Elon went back a week behind into old tweets and responded to some great tweet that Breedlove had. And Elon was engaging in earnest a week later, right? You'd only do that if you were sparked. So I think it was a handoff to Breedlove, and I bet Saylor did most of the work behind the scenes. And I think next Wednesday, his CEO thing, we probably won't see immediate effects, but over the next 6 months, that's going to onboard a ton of new capital. Terrance with the video, what's up?
Oh, no.
Oh, man, I spoke too soon.
You jinxed
it.
Dude, I texted Breedlove this morning, and I said, dude, you're going to be able to tell your grandchildren that you onboarded the richest man in the world to Bitcoin.
That's insane. And on his birthday, too. Today is his birthday, so.
Should we sing
No. Happy birthday to Breedlove.
Happy birthday
to you. Oh, that was horrible.
I thought we were pretty in sync, honestly.
I tried doing a birthday song with my family when we had a massive family Zoom, and it was horrible. Everyone was off. It just did not work. I think
of course.
Oh, cringe.
How could it have gone any other way, Brecky? Honestly. Yeah, no, the Elon thing. I mean, listen, Elon's been aware of, you know, the need for a sovereign currency on the internet since the, you know, early 90s, right? Like that was part of what was going on at X.com when it merged with PayPal, and the PayPal mafia were all circling around that idea. They just couldn't figure it out, right? And like, I think this is sort of like Elon's entire journey through tech coming full circle. Him putting his corporate treasury, well, you know, we assume it may happen. I'm just gonna speculate, like, and say that he's gonna, you know, have a personal allocation and put some on Tesla's corporate balance sheet. Like, it's kind of him coming full circle on the whole idea, you know.
Sorry, everybody, but the higher ups at Swan have told me I have to shill this on to next week. Swan Private Corporate Entity and High Net Worth Services here to interrupt your show. Sorry, folks. But actually, if you know anyone who is a high net worth individual or has a company, big or small, we here at Swan Bitcoin are happy to help.
And if you know somebody that's a high net worth individual that wants to be a low net worth individual, you can hit me up at swanxrp.com. We turn billionaires into millionaires every day.
I love that site. That was so funny. That's the other thing, though, is like if you know anyone who's rich, or it doesn't matter, anyone who has savings, if they're not saving money in Bitcoin, like they're going to have a lot less money in the future. So be that person, be that Bitcoin person, get them excited, do your duty. Come on, Bitcoiners.
This is what I'm saying. Bitcoin punishes non-believers.
That's right.
It literally punishes them, and it rewards believers. It's like early Christianity or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, form symbiosis or pay the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And with regard to Elon, I think he's probably the most influential person on the internet, or one of the top 10 most influential people on the internet. And especially for the people that people that I want to adopt Bitcoin, which are the disenfranchised folks. I want them to front run as much of the elites as possible. And so Elon speaks their language. He memes. He doesn't play by the rules. He sticks up for the little guy, and he's crazy enough to do it. And so I think this is a very significant moment. And we saw the stats with Coinbase downloads, which fuck Coinbase, but it's a signal that people are trying to go hard into the markets, retail is again. And so I think it's the beginning of something very large, actually.
I also have a framework.
Gigi, what happened?
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'm still cleaning up my mess, but I muted myself, so that wasn't me.
Dude, I have a framework around the the communities of Tesla and Bitcoin are actually very similar to each other. They're very long-term oriented, mission-driven, purpose-driven. They have independent media. They're very smart, iconoclastic thinkers in each. They're very committed, almost religious on both sides. So if Elon puts Bitcoin on the Tesla balance sheet, and Bitcoiners want to go to space just as bad as the Tesla guys do, right? Like we want the space, we want the Jetsons future too. So like if he puts Bitcoin on the corporate balance sheet, it merges and aligns both of those communities and will form like, it's like basically like when Goku and Vegeta would form like Gogeta or whatever the fuck, like that is what's going to happen, you know?
Wait, Gigi, hold on. Hoddle, do you know how to do that?
Wait, come
on now. Let's do it.
It's like this, right? Like, I don't know which screen I'm pointing at.
There you go. Do it, Hoddle.
Goddamn nerds.
That's right, bro. When we form a Gogeta, we're going to 900,000, not just 9.
I think with regards to Tesla, piggybacking off Hoddle there, I see, again, with the disenfranchised young people, they don't see an optimistic future, but Tesla is a proxy for an optimistic future. And so like young people just buying, storing their wealth in Tesla, it's them saying, I want a way out, and here's a way to express that with their dollar. And as soon as those folks merge with Bitcoin, they're going to realize that, oh, I can do the exact same thing with Bitcoin. And it's actually a meaningful change can occur from that.
Yeah. And we, like Brandon, to that point, like we don't have meaning in our lives. Our lives are nihilistic, right? And so like whenever we can find a shred of meaning or something that like is personally enriching us, like we will like imbue that thing with meaning as millennials. And like that is a big part of what the Tesla story is, because like they used to think that millennials wanted like altruistic investing or whatever, which they took to mean, let's sell them the same bullshit, but let's filter out like cigarette stocks, right? And like, oh yeah, you're doing good for the planet because you don't invest in cigarette companies, right? That's not what we want. What we want is meaning and purpose and like big audacious goals and like we want to actually move the needle and go forward and like have concrete plans and have like a calculus for how we're going to make things fucking better, right? Or blow up on the launch pad. Like that's what SpaceX is about too. It's like, yeah, some of us might blow up on the launch pad, but we're willing to fucking risk it, because without risk, like there is no living, you know?
Hoddle, I need you right now, all right? So this is purely a selfish ask. I gave up my Jeep. I had a Jeep. I loved it. It was great. And I don't have a car right now. And I found myself like looking at it at that Tesla model, the Model Y. I'm not even driving anywhere these days. I don't go anywhere. I never leave my house, very rarely. Can you tell me that I'm being stupid for even thinking about spending money on a car, that when even if I needed a car, I could get like a moped or something a lot cheaper and put it towards
dude, at 35,000 or whatever the fuck we're at right now. Come on, Brecky.
Right.
Like, just take Ubers, dude. Your cash outlay will be so much less.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You're good.
A moped.
Just walk.
I'm with Hoddle there. Like, yeah, get a skateboard, start walking. And as Matt Odell has said, you know, like if your car is newer than Bitcoin is old, you're short Bitcoin. Like,
a car is just a chair on wheels. It's just a chair on wheels, and chairs are chairs. So
they're scams anyway. Exactly.
If you're driving a 2009 or newer model car, you're a shitcoiner.
Yeah, basically.
We should make a Hoddle mobile that meme happen. Like,
that's funny.
It's essentially your dedication. We need to build people up for having a shitty old car because it's more sats. And if you have a fancy car, you know, you're fucking up. Just like the entrepreneur mobile.
Nick Can't Mind was on Twitter was showing how he was starting his car with a screwdriver during the bear market, and like he could only drive it in reverse for a while, and he was still driving it around. I was like, dude, you should not be driving this fucking car. Like, this is dangerous, legitimately.
Yo, Turtle Boy, we're with you. It's what we love to hear. Bitcoin gives us hope. Hell yes. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and to maybe piggyback on that, I think this is still an underappreciated feature of Bitcoin, because I think it really starts kicking in once you're deep down the rabbit hole. But I think the fact that we have something that is like it's very hard to think of a fairer system than Bitcoin. And I think people that study it deeply realize that. And it's also, as Breedlove likes to say, you know, like this incorruptible substance. And in a world where everything is so insanely corrupt, like everything is corrupt. Like it doesn't stop at Wall Street, you know, like it boggles the mind how corrupt the different systems in our world are. And to find Bitcoin and to be able to use it, since it's permissionless, and anyone can use it, everyone can use it, you can build up on it, you can trust that it will be there, it will be there for you, it will be there for your friends and for your future self and everything. I think like that Bitcoin gives you hope is that's not an accident, you know. And more people, all those degens from Wall Street bets, they will realize that in due time. And I'm very hopeful for the future because of it.
Everyone, real quick, can we all say hello to Grandpa and Grandma Swan up in Seattle?
Hello.
He's being a real Bitcoiner and spending time with his family. He's focusing on the important things in life. So hello, Mr. and Mrs. Grandpa Swan. Anyway, back to Bitcoin. Saludos desde Chile. Where's everyone from? Don't dox yourself. I love hearing where everyone's from. If you want to let us know, it's always cool to see Bitcoiners all over the world. Anyway. I like awkward silences. I was just waiting to see who would talk next. Fine.
All right, I'll talk. Meaning. We don't have any meaning. I'm not particularly religious, but I do feel like most young people have a religion-sized hole. And back to Hoddle about trying to find meaning. And so we apply that to things that may or may not be good places to put that energy. And I used to be spending a lot of time in the yoga world, and I noticed that also was this catch-all for lost people. And it sort of gave you meaning and community, and same with astrology. For some reason, astrology is blowing up. Oh, wait, because it's also kind of like a religion. Same with the festival scene blowing up.
Now we have a Bitcoin astrology crossover, mind you.
That's true. Who has a massive following, for better or for worse.
The things that become religions to millennials are things that make you happy, healthy, or wealthy. Those are the things, right? So like you look at like Bitcoin, Pilates, Joe Rogan, Tesla, Disney, like whatever it is. People are taking something that's giving them one of those things or a combination of those things, and then they're building their entire life around it because they do like have a God-sized hole in their heart. And I don't happen to be particularly religious either, but I do feel that we have, our society lost God and we haven't found anything to replace it with.
What about the people inside the Teslas doing Pilates, listening to Joe Rogan?
Those are the most woke of all.
Yep.
You guys
that's like a modern monk right there. The most religious person.
Breedlove is the modern monk. Breedlove is the modern warrior monk. Okay, he's like, anyway. But no, you're right. Like I'm, like my side of this is I'm culturally religious. Like I'm Jewish. I love our traditions, but like I don't believe in God. And the thing is, when you do believe in something bigger than yourself, it's a great feeling. It's amazing. I kind of was one of those nihilistic Wall Street bet types for a while, and then finding Bitcoin really changed that. It gave me that hope. It gave me something bigger than myself to believe in and participate in. And the fact that it's grounded in science and like real economics, not bullshit economics, like it's pretty special. So I want to ask Camila about this also, but real quick, everyone responded where they're from. So let's do some shout outs. Oh my God, everyone's everywhere. This is actually crazy. Shout out to New Jersey, where I was born, DC, to Boston, to Maryland. Hi from Mars. I don't believe you. From New Mexico.
That's Elon, bro. That's Elon.
It could be Elon. What's up, Elon? We knew you were watching. From Melbourne, Australia, from the mountains. The light at the end of the tunnel is orange. Gigi, that's not a place, but yes, I agree with that. Very much true. Tucson, Arizona, the Netherlands, Michigan, Croatia, Georgia, Canada, England, Jesus land. I don't know where that is, but okay. West Virginia, Morocco. Shout out to Morocco, Minnesota, Knoxville, Southern Tyrol in Germany. Wunderbar. We've got Cabo, Montreal, Indonesia, Quebec, Colorado, New York City, LA, boring. LA is kind of boring, but I'm there too. So. And Alberta, Canada. Oh man, I love you all. It's amazing to me to see Bitcoiners all over the world and be reminded that this is a global movement that we are all a part of. So thank you. Camila, I'm handing it off to you.
I wanted to say I actually consider myself to be pretty religious. Especially having a Hispanic background, that's something that is very prominent. But oddly enough, in my personal journey, I feel like Bitcoin came into my life because I prayed for it. I was literally praying for something that I could do, that I could feel that I was part of something a lot bigger. I'm not going to go around talking about religion nowadays because I'll get shut down super quick. Even though my intentions may be great, right?
There are religious Bitcoiners. Bitcoiners come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, but it's so much more easier to talk about Bitcoin, talk about how it does make you a better person. It does make you more humble in a lot of ways. It makes you care about other people, not just yourself. And to me, it helps me take care more of myself because it gets you in that low time preference mindset that, hey, you need to take care of yourself right now. Imagine what more is needed of you in the future. And I want to have a family, so I need to take care of myself so that when I do have a family, I can be the best I can be for them as well. So you're right. It doesn't matter if you're not religious or you are religious. That's the point. Bitcoin is for absolutely everybody.
I love that.
Dude, when I look back on my past, I only see one step of footsteps, and I realize that Satoshi was carrying me. Think about it.
Yeah, amen to that. And like, yeah, I truly think like this is underappreciated. And of course, it's related to Bitcoin lowers your time preference, and Bitcoin forces you to take on a lot of responsibility if you're holding your own keys and if you're running your own node and everything like that, and you have to go through the educational process yourself, and you just have to also take care of your OPSEC and other things, and all of that changes you in small and big ways. But I think to loop back to the religious aspect of it, I think the the religious parallels to Bitcoin are huge, and it truly is. It is very fit to fill this God-shaped hole in the hearts of millennials and others. And it is because, as I said before, it is something that is bigger than yourself. It is something that will always be there. It is something that you can rely upon. It is something that makes you hopeful. It is something that will reward you as well. Like if you're good to Bitcoin, Bitcoin will be good to you as well. And there are so many religious parallels. It's not even funny, Like, I mean, it kind of started out as a joke a couple of years ago to talk about the Bitcoin religion, but I don't even think it's that big of a joke. It's truly, as Brecky also said, like it's rooted in reason and in science and in computer science, mathematics, game theory, and all of it. And it's something you have to believe in, and it's something you can believe in, because without belief, Bitcoin doesn't work. Like the game theory aspect of it doesn't work. And I think it's a beautiful thing that it exists, and it gives hope to so many people.
I also love that it gives us hope on so many different levels. It gives hope to the individual. It gives hope at the level of society, at the level of the world. I mean, it gives me hope for the environment for the first time in a long time. There's so many reasons that Bitcoin is special. So anyway, Terrance, we've got you here now. And as Corey pointed out, and probably, well, maybe not embarrassed, there's nothing to be embarrassed about here. Terrance, if you all don't know Terrance, he's incredibly smart, knows a ton about finance and Wall Street and Bitcoin. So if you're in the audience and you have a question about any of those things, let us know. What's going on, Terrance? How do you feel about HODL activism and Bitcoin as a religion, as something bigger than yourself? Has Bitcoin given meaning to your life, more meaning to your life?
Yes, because it is about self-sovereignty and being able to take control of your life and be your own hero. So I think in life, a lot of times we hold up people and institutions and revere them, and they always end up disappointing us. And what we don't realize is that we have to be the change that we are looking for. To paraphrase a slogan from the Obama campaign, it's actually really true. So the only way to be truly happy and truly free, truly sovereign, is to be your own hero. And to do that, you really have to build conviction in Bitcoin and understand the real difference between centralization and decentralization. Meaning, if the state or someone else can stop you from doing something, can stop you from going long GME and trading it, right? Or going, doing other things, whether it's political speech or using your own money that is different, not issued by the state. All those things are things that other people or other institutions want to prevent you from doing if and when you do something that goes against what they want. So you kind of have this freedom, or you imagine you have freedom, until you go to the edge of the cage and you realize that all this time you're in a cage and you can't get out.
Bitcoin is, I really love the way you put that. And I love the idea that it makes you the hero of your own story, because, I feel like before Bitcoin, all of us were kind of like, we were like little dinghies floating about in the ocean, and we didn't have a motor. We didn't have anything. Bitcoin gives you that motor. It gives you that rudder and allows you to be the master of your own fate, finally, for the first time in thousands of years, Otherwise, you're just kind of being thrown around at the whims of people with power. So it's Bitcoin's a special thing. I want to do a quick shout out also. This is me nerding out on words here. Where is it? Somebody wrote, when you stare into BTC, BTC stares back. I'm a nerd for what's called a chiasmus or a chiasmus. I don't know how to say it, but basically it's this format of writing, and it's like JFK, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And you can't overuse them, because then they get a little boring. But I freaking love them, and they always hit home for me. So anyway,
how about this one, Brecky? At first, I thought I was saving sats until I realized that sats saved me.
Oh.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it. Anybody else got one for me?
How can you top that? The truest thing.
I gotta find.
Someone wrote quite quite a long time ago. Like I must have seen it probably like 3 or more years ago. Like Bitcoin took care of me, and now I take care of Bitcoin. So that echoes the same sentiment.
I like that one too. That one was great.
Can I just say how different we are than the DeFi degens who know they're all scams and they're all gambling and they're all circle jerking each other, and
we talk about
just brag about it?
Can we talk about Mark Cuban? How like ignored Bitcoin, doesn't care about Bitcoin, but now he's tweeting about DeFi. It's so
like, and NFTs, you guys, banana NFTs.
Yeah.
Well, Clubhouse has been an interesting experience because you've gotten to hear a lot of the Ethereum guys talk, and you realize that these people are stupid as fuck, and they're deeply confused about what they're after and even what their own end goals are. Like, I think the whole point of DeFi is just to create so much obfuscation and confusion that like you don't know what's real, what's not, like who's making money, who's not, like, and then I don't know, like, maybe you get out with some cash, maybe you don't, maybe I don't know. It seems like a huge waste of time and energy.
That was the whole point of Ethereum in the first place.
Yeah,
like,
it's an obfuscation protocol.
Yeah, exactly. It's all theater, like it's complexity theater. And it didn't make sense from day one, and it gets even worse. Like if you ever saw a screenshot of the roadmap of Ethereum 2.0 or something, it's like wow.
Yeah.
Like a plotter that can print out something that is so big doesn't exist. Like it's so complicated, and it doesn't make sense in the first place. So that I think that was the plan all along. Just confuse everybody, and you will always find new entrants that just. It takes a year or 2 or 3 to find out that all of it is just complexity theater, and some people will never find out, and that's what keeps the machine going.
They're so good at trying to confuse people that at the end they end up confusing themselves. They can't see what is true and what is not.
Ethereum, the longest running scam in all of crypto.
We've been in so many of these rooms with them too, where they'll spin this yarn and this wonderful, beautiful story about DeFi and financial inclusion and financial innovation and blah 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 blah. And then I press them, and they're like, 99.9% of it is Ponzi schemes. And I'm like, what's your unit of account? And they're like, yeah, my unit of account is Bitcoin, and I have an 85% Bitcoin allocation. And I'm like, then why are you telling normal people, retail investors, to buy this fucking bullshit? Like, you're a bad person if you're doing that, You're as bad as Raoul Pal, who's the worst person of all time.
There was a night, I almost lost my shit that night. It was so bad when this Ethereum guy was in the room. He was invited into the room by someone else under false pretenses. And he got in there and he just like laughed at everyone. And he literally called everyone in the room a libertarian neckbeard. Like, I was just like, you're just going to insult people, and like quoting things about Bitcoin from 2013, like still like it was just very intellectually dishonest. But anyway, let's move on. There was a question from the audience that, as much as it pains me because I feel like this question comes up all the time and it's starting to annoy me, but the fact that it does that and it is coming up all the time means that it's important and we should actually address it. So there will be pain, though. Please discuss how the governments will try to control, tax, and impact BTC. Brandon, I feel like this is right up your alley if you want to touch on this for us.
Yeah, Bitcoin's a mycelial network, and you can't really stop it. So that was easy. No, in all reality, the Bitcoin network itself is very hard to attack. Like, it's more or less pointless to try to attack it head on. And so they're not really going to do that. They're smart enough to know that that doesn't make sense because there are cheaper and easier ways. And so I think the most likely outcome, and this is not new for most people, is they're going to attack the on-ramps and the off-ramps, right? That's their world. Anytime Bitcoin touches fiat, it's vulnerable. We've seen that midnight legislation try to get pushed through with the extra KYC, all that kind of stuff. And I think I'm not too worried about this long-term because we have such a powerful elite class or credential class or donor class, whatever you want to call it, who are buying Bitcoin to save their own ass. And when push comes to shove, they're going to stand up for their own investments, right? It's rational for them to do that. And so we simultaneously need the big wealthy people to adopt Bitcoin in order to save the world. removing money from the state. And so I'm not too stressed about it. I think the ultimate outcome will be Bitcoin itself will be allowed to exist even under the state's eye, but they will try to take as much privacy from that as possible. And they want to get taxed and they want to know what's going on. And I think Michael Saylor is actually right about this. A lot of people give him shit for not banging the privacy drum. But on Laura Shin podcast, he went a little bit deeper into that one. I think he made his position very clear, which is we want to let these people come in, make Bitcoin gigantic. It'll be too big to fail. And then we can go to our islands and have our own citadels. And there's nothing anyone can do because Bitcoin will be too big to fail.
I think I fully agree with Brandon's take, and I think that is the most likely thing. Like, number go up can't be stopped. That is the part that's inevitable. The privacy of Bitcoin is dog shit. It just is and always has been, and people are working hard to fix that. But like for right now, it is bad, and they can co-opt it in that manner. I think instead of thinking about it like, are they going to ban Bitcoin? I think we should think about it in terms of like, what rules are they going to put in place that accrue Bitcoin to entities that they control? That is the more likely scenario, in my opinion. But they can't stop number go up. They want number go up too. They want a fucking life raft too, you know? They just want to shove all the poor people back onto the Titanic so they can drown, and they want to take as many life raft seats for themselves as they can, you know?
Exposed.
Terrance, real quick, totally unrelated, but I have that hat, and when I got it, it didn't look good on me, but now I see that if you flatten the brim, it looks pretty awesome. So thank you for that. I've got to do that.
That was one of the few times I spent my Bitcoin, and I got nauseous spending Bitcoin. Just Hoddle. But yeah, it was worth it to support. I think it's Fart Face 2000.
Yeah, Bit Piggies. They're Bitcoin piggy banks. They're
Fart Face. You were watching earlier. I don't know if you're still in the audience, but shout out to you if you're still here. You're pretty rad.
Yeah, I got some Bit Piggies for my daughters. It's cool. I have them in their room.
I still need to get a Bit Piggy, but
give yourself an allowance, Brecky.
Well, no, I use Strike now. You know, I pay for a lot of things in Bitcoin. I never eat away at my stack. So I am so effing glad I found this show. You guys get it. Hell yeah. Welcome, Ryan Lang. We do this every Friday. We also have another show, Swan Signal Live, usually on Tuesdays. I would highly recommend checking that out. And if you're watching and you haven't hit like and subscribe, do it for Terrance. Do it for American Hoddle. Do it for Camila. I'm boring. Don't do it for me. You're stuck with me. But we do have great guests, so that's awesome. Welcome.
American Hoddle, just wanted to clear the air because so many people had been asking. They're asking what happened to your Twitter account.
I'm taking a Twitter break at the moment. Listen, bear market Twitter is my shit. I love that. I love hanging out and rallying the plebes. Bull market Twitter is fucking annoying. I do not want to have another conversation about, hey man, what do you think about XRP? I'm like, it's dog shit. They're like, it's doing good though. miss me with that bullshit. So yeah, I just deactivated. I might come back in like 30 days. Or I might not come back because
Brondo's got what plants crave.
it's got electrolytes. Yeah. What do you mean? Dude, I've talked to so many people on Clubhouse who are like, yeah, but Ripple says the SEC lawsuit's not a big deal. It's like, yeah, but it is. What the fuck are you talking about? They're gonna they sued the founders personally. Like, what planet do you live on? Have you read the SEC allegations? They're incredibly damning. Like, Ripple is not going to exist by the end of this lawsuit. What are you fucking talking about? But they're like, well, I have $19 and I'm going to put it into Ripple. And I'm like, why did I just waste 5 minutes having a conversation with this person?
They also dance.
You never know what the nominal dollar terms somebody is talking about are. They're like, I'm up 300%, and they're talking about being up like $1,200. You're like, why am I wasting time having this conversation with this person? Anyway.
I came to a conclusion a long time ago, and I don't always follow this advice, but I try to remind myself that in the majority of cases, it's far more important to spend your time onboarding the next, 7 billion Bitcoiners than it is to convince a few thousand shitcoiners that Bitcoin is really where they should be heading. Like, if they're still, focused on Ripple at this point and they've been in it for a long time, like I'm not religious, but I'll pray for that. You know, like that's all I can do at this point.
I think that's a good point, though. Like, if they are new, we should be compassionate and realize that it is hard to figure this stuff out. But yeah, if they're a 2017 trader degen who now still thinks Bitcoin's boiling the oceans or whatever nonsense, what are we doing here?
Yeah, seriously. That you just have fun staying poor.
Maybe we should talk about Doge, though. This was interesting. And apparently
Doge is the future, obviously.
Apparently Brady has some Doge. Brady, call yourself a man.
I'm not gonna lie, I had a 5-bagger on Doge this week. Can't lie. I YOLO'd in right before bed a couple of days ago, and 5x'd it. All profits secured in Bitcoin.
There you go.
Somebody was saying something about Doge that it actually does serve a purpose, but I can't remember what that purpose was. To take out XRP and Bcash, maybe, like on the list.
I like Doge's existence because Doge is an obvious scam, or it's an obvious joke.
Yeah.
And so if it's like doing better than like cryptocurrencies that are quote unquote
right,
right, it's great. Yeah.
I think I heard you say this earlier. I was like, where did I see this? I couldn't remember, but exactly.
I think the original thing that was born out of Reddit, right? Like they were trying to make a Reddit tip coin way back when.
Well, the Jackson Palmer who founded Doge thought Bitcoin was like a scam and he didn't like it. So he wanted to create a fake coin. And see, this is another one of these Bitcoin punishes people that don't believe in it things, because he fucking created Doge. He dumped all his Doge. And if he had held on to it, he would be worth several $billion. So he tried to pull a joke on Bitcoin and he was personally impoverished because of it.
Alrighty, folks.
That's a hilarious story.
Yeah, it's true. Suck, bro. Fuck you, Jackson. You bitch. You fat bitch. Fuck you. Don't come. You come at the king. You best not miss, son. Huh? Get some. Sorry, I'm on one today.
Yeah, today, uniquely today, right?
Right, just for the show.
Wait, Hoddle, while we've got you here, can you say some of those encouragements to people to stack, but like the different versions? So like, let's say somebody's like was buying $10 on Swan, what would you say to them? And then versus like $20 worth, $50 worth, 1,000, 5,000. Like, what would you say to all those different levels?
Okay, I'd be like $10. I'd be like, congratulations, you finally are part of the Bitcoin religion. $20 would be like, you're doing great, bro. Congrats on skipping Chipotle today. $50 would be like, you. What the fuck is? I'm trying to think of something that's worth $50. I don't know, man. But then the point would be like, the higher up you get, you know, it would be like $1,000. Like, you're a pussy. Come on, like you definitely have more money than this. Why not 10,000? And then people put in 100,000. You're like, why not 1 million? You don't have 1 million? Are you poor?
Are you poor?
That's genius. You got to be nice to the people with low dollar values, but the people with high dollar values, you just expect it's nothing for them.
Exactly.
So you taunt them for more.
Exactly.
Well, this is like the thing with the have fun staying poor meme. It is fucking hilarious when we drop the have fun staying poor on billionaires, especially, you know, or like hedge funders or like whoever. It is not nice to use it on actual struggling people. So like if somebody is struggling, you should help them and be like, come on, bro, like I'll help you out. Like, let's get some Bitcoin. You can get some on the Cash App or Swan or whatever, you know. But if somebody's a billionaire and they're like, Bitcoin sucks, you just be like, have fun staying poor, you piece of shit.
What about shitcoiners? What's
Shitcoiners?
for them?
Oh, shitcoiners get the have fun staying poor too.
Oh,
Because you're shitcoin. If you're shitcoining, you're actively attacking Bitcoin. Like you need to stop. You need to repent. You need to repent. Okay, you're not gonna get into heaven shitcoining. Everybody knows that. Think about it.
We forgive you. Do 21 Hail Satoshis, and we will forgive you. All right, folks. Wait, I was gonna say something else about that. I don't remember. It's been a long week. We should do the pitches. Hoddle, have you done the Bitcoin pitches?
Yeah, I've gotten better at it via Clubhouse.
Right? It's really helped. If you're watching and you're like, ooh, Clubhouse, honestly, it's a fantastic app. We have amazing conversations like this one, just even better.
Yo, I thought Clubhouse was gonna be some bullshit before I got on it, but it's legit. It's addictive, and the conversations are so killer. Like earlier today, we had Brandon was in a room, I was in the room, Marty, Guy Swan, Preston Pish, Peter McCormack, like, and it's just so cool to hear everybody like, you know, mixing it up all at once.
Speaking of Clubhouse, Terrance is probably my favorite mod in all the Bitcoin rooms, who is on this call. If you're on Clubhouse, you better go follow Terrance.
He makes the best rooms and lets everyone speak. It's amazing.
Terrance, are you still with us?
Terrance is the shit.
I am. Sorry about the screen.
No worries. The other night with that guy who was basically spamming us, that was it was wonderful when you showed this guy who got up there and he was just like, so yeah, like the philosophy of Bitcoin and the miners, and you know, what do you think about how the banks and you know, and he just made absolutely no sense. Like he was,
and we kept letting him talk, and I was like talking to the other. Yeah, this was on the weekly Bitcoin meetup Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, he just kept making no sense, and we think he was high, and I was like, we cannot let him take over.
That guy.
Right? So, yeah.
Yeah, he kept using big words. He'd be like, yo, what happens when like the Bitcoin recombination occurs? And I'd be like, what? What does that mean?
You know what you know what it was? It's a symptom of listening to too much breed love and thinking that you're breed love.
Yeah.
Or thinking you understand. Yeah, thinking you understand what breed love is talking about.
Sometimes I try to tweet like Breedlove, and I'm just not him. Like, look, the tweets are good. It's just they're not received the same way because I'm not Robert. You know, I need to do the long form, and then I'll get the respect that I crave from the Bitcoin community.
Yeah, no, you just need to post selfies in the shower, Brecky. That's your.
Are you kidding? No more of that.
I think Breedlove's tweets have the most information density on all of Twitter. Like it's a short essay in 280 characters. Not a single character was wasted.
Exactly.
Oh wait, Dahlia. How could we not talk about Dahlia?
Oh yeah, Ray Dalio. He capitulated like a bitch.
No, so I think what people don't realize is Ray actually hinted at crypto or Bitcoin a while ago. It's about a year and a half ago when he was talking about the massive government spending. This was and people didn't really pick up on it. A few did, but I thought at that time he might have personally warmed up to Bitcoin and bought some. Bitcoin's too small a market cap right now. Bitcoin needs to be like 1 or 2 trillion market cap before Bridgewater, his hedge fund, will buy in. But for him personally, it just seemed to me like he was already starting to understand the importance of digital gold about a year and a half ago.
Terrance, did you read his thoughts on it? Somebody's asking if Ray got in. He did not get into Bitcoin, but basically, I don't know if you want to kind of expand on what he wrote, but essentially he, what was the terminology? His Bitcoin would not escape the review of his firm, the gaze of his firm, or something like that.
Yeah, I may have missed that part, but initially he got into trouble because I think he was asking on LinkedIn, where he is a lot, maybe Twitter, like his kind of common objections to Bitcoin, but he kept an open mind. And Bitcoin Twitter, not surprisingly, took a more of a two-dimensional view on Ray and criticized him for that. But and then he tweeted out something about he understands that Bitcoin has traction as digital gold among some players, and it might have legs. That was the impression that I got.
That's fair. Ray, if you're watching, you might want to get some of this Bitcoin in case it catches on. Just saying. Alrighty, folks. I think we're getting towards the end of this show. It's been a fantastic episode. I've had a lot of fun with all of you, so thank you. And thank you to the audience as well. But let's do these Bitcoin pitches. I would like us to pitch the Wall Street Bets crowd on Bitcoin. So Hoddle, Terrance, Camila, if you'd like to, Gigi, Brandon, but we definitely got to get Hoddle and Terrance to give this pitch. So who wants to go first is my
Terrance, go for it.
Sure.
Wait 1 second.
Listen up, Wall Street degens. You have horrible time preference. You have the right idea to stick it to the man, but what you got to do is stop playing fiat games and status games. You got to opt out, buy Bitcoin, build conviction, and read. Don't just meme. You actually have to read. Read the Bitcoin Standard. Read on my pinned tweet, Anthony Scaramucci's Skybridge's pitch deck on Bitcoin, which is excellent. Get all the free resources to learn about Bitcoin on Swan. And stop being a little bitch. You guys are playing stupid games. You're going to get fucked in the ass when you keep playing these games where you're trying to win against Wall Street. You're not going to win. You just got to opt out, bro.
Boom.
What a boss.
Well done, sir.
I love that. All right, Hoddle, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're up next.
All right, listen.
Wait,
Listen.
one second.
Okay.
Ready?
Listen, boys, my Tendy boys. I appreciate your degeneracy. I appreciate you going berserker mode on the system, and I appreciate your HODL activism. I appreciate you. Okay, namaste. Now, here's the thing. Terrance is right. You're being fucking retarded. Here's why. They're gonna fuck you up with regulations, bro, and make you sell and fucking fuck you up on Robinhood. They have all the power. You have none of the power. So here's the deal. Buy Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin the greatest money of all time? Simple. It's the best way to transfer value through time and space. Gold was the best way to transfer value through time. Fiat was the best way to transfer value through space. Bitcoin does both. If you don't get that right now, you're going to get it soon enough. It's better to get it sooner than it is to get it later because you can get richer, my bros. Okay? So take your fucking Tendy money and put it into Bitcoin. YOLO into that.
Boom. With 4 seconds there. I love it. Who's next? Who's got something else to say? Nope, you don't have to go. We've gotten some good pitches already, but Brandon, you feel like talking to them? Camila?
I'm happy to go.
All right, Brandon. In 3, 2, 1.
All right, fellas. The Bitcoiners share your frustration. We have the same anger. We're in your same position. But the difference is we found a tool that can't be stopped. So enjoy the Wall Street bets. That battle is amazing. We're on your team here. And it's really fun to watch the elites get pissed and squirm at a bunch of memers taking over the financial system. However, whatever you're doing today fixes nothing. It's a temporary blip. They're going to just change the rules on you and make it so you can't do that same attack anymore, and you'll have to learn and try something new. Cat and mouse game, nothing changes. The root cause is the money itself. And our Lord and Savior, Satoshi, stole money from the central banks in a Promethean sense, and he gave it back to the people. Bitcoin's the people's money. This is where we make our last stand, and this is where we win.
Satoshi's the real Robin Hood. The real Robin Hood.
That doesn't rob the hood.
Rob the hood. Exactly.
I love it. Camila, you feel like going today? Gigi?
I just wanna cheat. You don't even have to put the 1 minute because it's not even gonna take a minute. I'm just gonna use what Gigi's things say. They can only control you because you use fiat. If you actually opt out of that system and buy some Bitcoin and become self-sovereign, you're actually going to be able to make an impact. If you're just keep memeing, just keep buying GameStop, nothing's going to work because you're playing in their game and they're going to crush you. So buy some Bitcoin so that you can actually get control of the game. That's it.
I love that. You know what?
Well said.
I'm going to add something to it. I don't usually do these. Look, Wall Street bets, all right? You're kings, you're queens. You are almost there. What does a king do? Does a king store his money in paper? No, all right? Store your profits, your wealth in Bitcoin. Get out now. Join us. That's all I got. All right. Still working out my Kaiser rants.
GG energy here.
GG.
Yeah, I'll give it my best shot. So, yeah, my dear degenerates, you got good memes, but Bitcoin got the best memes. So you should switch to Bitcoin just for the memes alone. But you can get rich in the process as well. And as you figured out, they can't control you because you are forced to use their currency. So using a different currency, it's like switching the game. You found a cheat code, and they they are not allowing you to use this cheat code because it will fuck up their game completely. So you figured out the right strategy, but it's not allowed. So you will have to play a game where cheat codes are actually allowed. And one cheat code is stacking sets. And you should start as early as you can. Just start stacking sets, set it and forget it. And this is how you win the game in the long run. Educate yourself, never stop stacking, and just use your time wisely by memeing and educating others.
You look like a robot, Brookie.
I was trying to steal his thunder a little bit. Do the lip syncing.
That was great.
All right. Well, I think that's all we've got for today, folks. Anyone have any closing words? Some closing advice? No? All right. I guess that's
Stack
it.
sats and hodl, man. Like hodl it to the ground. Yeah. Hodl the whole system to the ground. You know, like they can't out hodl us. It's impossible.
Yep.
They can't out hodl us. We can remain Bitcoiners longer than they can remain solvent. All right, folks. Thank you for an amazing show. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to our incredible audience. Go to swanbitcoin.com, start stacking, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.